And Lisa?
Cameron.
According to my clock, it's 10, so I'll call Rich County Commission meeting to order. First up, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Lee, would you lead us in that?
Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Is the agenda good, and Lisa?
Just those things that are handwritten need just be,
Move Kim around.
No,
Yeah,
so
but-
we have an economic development board appointments, and we also have added an executive session for personnel. As well at 12:30, I believe it is, and the appointments for the economic development board. So with those additions, I would make a motion that we set the agenda.
Second.
Okay, move second. The agenda be set for today. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Abby, come on up.
Does it matter which one?
Nope, wherever you want. Come and tell us who you are and what you're here for.
Okay, I'm Abby Whatcott. I'm born and raised here my whole life. And if you know me, I love basketball. And if you don't know me, you now know that I love basketball. And I don't know, Fearless Hoops is what it is, and it's basketball training, but it's more than basketball. I guess it's like to help kids in the community, families in the community, as a mentorship as well, teaching these kids more than just exercise and being healthy, but that it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to feel embarrassed. And I think that's the main thing is, as an adult, we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be in a place and try new things and feel that embarrassment. And so what I want Fearless Hoops to be is a safe place where these kids can come and feel like they belong, they're part of something, also while learning basketball, but learning how to properly communicate with their peers, properly work together with teammates, and then I offer group sessions as well as individual one-on-one 30 minutes or an hour training session. I've been doing it here at the tennis courts a little bit, and then I'm at the Kemmer Rec Center most of the time, and then I have rented the old gym over at the elementary school throughout the summer. I think I had it through like May and June. So those are the facilities that I've been using, and so far it's worked really well.
Okay.
It's awesome.
You got a copy of your application?
So I have the one that I gave to you guys, or for the state.
Just the one that.
I think you have it, Bill, under that tab there, up top on the.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry, I didn't bring a copy of that, but I do have mine.
You don't need to.
Yeah, we
I
got it
I
here.
got it right here. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No.
And you have insurance and liability or whatever?
Yeah, through the LLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions. Do you guys have any questions?
I don't.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve Abby's business license for Fearless Hoops basketball training.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. You
Okay.
did.
Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Brett, thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
Abby, you can just stop in my office.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah.
Taylor, Oh, just as soon as oh, there you go. Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, if you state your name and what you got going, Taylor.
So my name's Taylor Walker. I went to school at Rich High School, and the biggest thing for me is I'm trying to help out in that aspect of things, but I'm trying to do digital design in the area, which ranges from anything from like logos, t-shirt graphics, posters, videos, photos, any of that. And I just wanted to make sure I had everything put together to be able to help with like sports photography around the school and stuff like that.
Okay.
Taylor, you're just working out of your house there?
Yeah, so I would be working out of my house as of the moment. At some point that might change, but it would be a couple of years down the road. The only other places I'd be working is like at the designated areas. So if I'm at a photo shoot for a company, I'd be at their base. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't. I would make a motion that we grant Taylor Graphics a business license to operate here in Rich County.
Second.
Okay, moving seconded that Taylor G Graphics be approved. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. You're good, Taylor.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I guess we could do camera now if you want.
Taylor, you can call my office or we can reach out to you for payment, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Josh, you wanna come on up?
Thank you. Did we get a copy to you? I don't, this letter? I don't know
Is
if
that
we
the
did.
one,
I don't see one here.
is that the one where you were describing what you were asking for money?
Yeah,
I can make copies tomorrow.
yes, it's, if you need it, I brought this one copy.
Could you state your name for the record and
Josh Barson from Bear River Health Department. We are working on requesting capitation with Medicaid for substance abuse. The first step is to submit a formal letter, a formal request that needs to be signed by the substance abuse authorities. So we have signatures from Cache County and Box Elder County, and then we're requesting a signature from Rich County. Medicaid capitation right now for substance abuse, we're fee for service, and so we receive reimbursement from Medicaid for every service that we provide. Capitation model that we would enter under hopefully by July 1st of 2026 is our hope. They use a formula based on anticipated number of people using Medicaid in our area, and then they give us a lump sum of money. We're the last area in the state that is not capitated for substance abuse, and the overwhelming feedback from other areas and from the state is that we would benefit by having more money for substance abuse, and more resources to be able to provide substance abuse treatment.
So, mental health, our mental health program is capitated.
Yeah.
It's based on eligibles that would be eligible within the Medicaid parameters of low income and that type of thing. And so really to provide better services with the capitation program, they basically run that through a formula of your population versus how many people are actually eligible, and then those people qualify, and then they pay a lump sum of money, and then comes back on at this point in time substance abuse and mental health program to provide those services for those people if they're Medicaid eligible. So it's a better way of picking up people that really need services that if they don't feel like they can pay, then right now, if you want substance abuse treatment, you've either gotta have insurance or you've got to be able to pay out of pocket for those, even though you're maybe Medicaid eligible. You've gotta get qualified. If they're within the encatchment area, they can get started on services. If we're capitated in the encatchment area, they can get started on services and then become Medicaid eligible, and so the ball doesn't get dropped of they're in jail for 3 months until they can get Medicaid eligible. Let me just put it that way. Is that a good explanation?
So I think that is a good explanation. So capitation, you'd get a fixed amount regardless of how many services are used or not. Okay.
Generally, the majority of areas end up with extra that they can then keep for a rainy day, or they can put into their services, improving their services. So,
Is capitation, is that just a medical financial term? Because I don't think I've ever heard of it.
it's just a different model.
Yeah.
They call it capitation.
It's a federal term of.
It sounds made up, but
Well,
Because all words are.
one other thing it does for us too, and for the counties, is right now with fees for service, any provider within the counties that is willing can get on with Medicaid and offer substance abuse services. The counties are responsible for the matching those funds, but the substance abuse authorities don't have oversight into the delivery of those services. It leaves the door open for Medicaid fraud. It leaves the door open for agencies that may mismanage it or misuse.
we could bill for things or treat in a certain way to make money.
Without the
Where
county's
capitation
oversight.
is just a fee regardless of.
And capitation, all Medicaid substance abuse would either come to the health department, they would have to come to the health department, and we could also contract with other agencies in the counties, but they would have to enter that contract, and then we'd be able to audit and have that oversight.
Which is just Medicaid eligible people.
Medicaid
You
eligible.
still are able to go
Yeah.
get private treatment if you feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So I would make a motion that we assign the request to go into the capitation program for our substance abuse services.
Okay. Do we know the amount by?
So this is just the formal request.
Okay, we'll
There
come
would
up
be
with-
another, we'd
Okay.
come before you again before officially entering capitation
Okay,
and
then I'll second that motion.
give an opportunity for more information.
It's gonna probably take a year to work through this whole process.
Okay, I just was afraid we were approving.
No, it'll come
A blank
to you.
check. Yeah, okay.
It'll come to you again.
I should have
Yeah.
known better if Bill was motioning to do it, so I'll second.
Okay, moving second that we sign the letter of capitation request
Yep.
for the county. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
It's not 8 anymore.
9-3.
The third,
How many times you have to get stopped in the canyon?
twice.
Only twice?
Yeah. I got through the first one and then just stopped 2 other times.
Oh, you got through the first one?
I got through the first one. But yeah, I was the only car that made it through. So it was close. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks for coming, Josh.
Thank you.
It's up to you guys.
We can't have the public hearing.
Yeah, till it's time.
40 minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah, let's do that.
So you can't do the public hearing until.
Till it's scheduled.
Till
Yeah.
11, yeah.
So I went logging yesterday, it took me 2 hours to get through it going, and an hour and a half coming back.
Oh.
Because I come back at 5:30.
You could have went this way that fat and not had the harassment of stopping. Maybe faster if you went through mommy.
Yeah, they're done chipping and sealing, so you're good all the way to Mountain Green.
So let me share something else that happened yesterday when we was coming back and heading down into Garden City. We were following an 18-wheeler. You didn't stop at the bright check at the top or halfway down. And as you come down, you make the bend and then you go around the next bend from the top, and he went over into the inside lane of the upcoming traffic. And he's in there, and the pickup was coming up almost in a head-on collision. He came back in to the normal lane he's supposed to be into. And so I called the police to tell them that not one of this guy can even read the signs. And of course, she said, the dispatch said, we don't have anybody in your area, so I can't do anything. I said, well, let me give you the license plate number, so. It's cold. She called the license plate.
It's big cold in here.
Hopefully we're able to fill the two vacant positions and try and get some more coverage.
Yeah.
That guy needs to be pulled over and tested.
They actually have a highway patrol assigned, highway patrolman assigned to those break check areas. But they're, yeah, so I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't somebody, because there's a dedicated patrolman that works in Rich County. It was just to monitor those
Well, I
check areas.
passed a highway patrolman going down as I was coming up, down by right-hand fork.
Yeah.
That's where I passed it, and I don't know if it's a woman or a man.
Refund request.
What, was it a pickup or was it a SUV?
It was actually,
It was Amanda going back to Logan.
Okay.
Kim Wilson, Rich County Assessor. I've got a refund request from Emily Wright. He works, I think, in Garden City or for Garden City. They've been here since 2018 as primary, and we've had them on as secondary the whole time. So we've got it corrected for the 2025 tax year. We'd stipulated, which we'll bring to you at Board of Equalization. But here's what the total would be for the 5 years back.
To refund.
And they've just been paying it.
Yeah, they didn't realize what that meant. So,
$43.93, yeah.
I'd make a motion that we do the refund for,
43.
what's the name? For Steve and Emily Wright for the amount of $4,393
And 2 pennies.
and 3 cents for their of their taxes of the primary residence.
Second.
Okay, moving seconded. We refund them. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
thank you. I appreciate that. And you will as well. The second thing I have is I have Revolution Ridge. He finally contacted me because when we did the Greenbelt recertification, I had multiple addresses we tried to reach him at, and they kept coming back. So this year I pulled him out of Greenbelt and rolled it back and sent him the information, and then he called me. And so what he's wanting is, he said he emailed it to me, but I never got anything from him. So I had him go back through and do his Greenbelt recertification, and I said I'll have to take it to the commission and see if they'll reinstate his.
Is this the one on top of Lake Town?
Yes, but I'm not sure on the house. I'm going to follow up with that next to see if that's his house up there.
The one that's for sale.
Well, I don't know if it's the house for sale or if it's the land. Do you know?
I think it's land.
Just
It's-
land, or is it that house and land?
I think it's just land because somebody on our trails board was looking at buying it. But I could be wrong, maybe there's more.
Like I said, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna talk to him and see, if he's the one that's got that house up there. And let him know that I need to go up and take a look at it and get pictures and see if he's okay with that. If this is the guy. Because there's another outfit that's right close to that, and we were having trouble. That's when I was trying to figure out which parcel it sits on. And it's pretty close to sitting right on. In fact, I think I've got it all together right there, trying to figure out exactly where that.
What is being done to keep it in Greenbelt?
He said he's got his own cows up there. He said they're running it themselves. I think he's filled out a Greenbelt sign statement and everything right there. So I thought you might know a little bit more about that.
I didn't know he had cows.
So I don't know. He's a partner with.
It's the one on the south.
Well, it's Revolution Ridge, so it's yes, south of the south.
You can
in
see
there.
it as you come up over the crest.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
a
know
huge
there's
building.
cows down by the highway.
Yeah.
But
I just didn't realize they were his.
I don't know who's. He's filled out the Greenbelt sign statement saying that they're his, and he told me that they're not leasing it. They're using it themselves. So I don't know, and I didn't know if you guys knew any additional information.
I don't.
So what he's requesting is the reinstatement of Greenbelt on his property. And he said he emailed it to me. I don't have any record of getting it. I sent it multiple times to multiple addresses that I could find, and he must have gotten at least one because he had it, and he said he emailed it to me, but I never got it.
Do you know, is 7 of Utah LLC also in Greenbelt?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have responded, but there again, that's the other outfit that I'm not sure if the house is theirs or not.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's right.
It's
on-
right there,
like-
so it's like right on the, so it's,
5 months maybe.
like breaking the rules close.
yeah. But he didn't get a building permit for that either, that we can find. I can't find it. I talked to
think
Tyler,
so,
he doesn't
yeah.
have one. So that's where I'm going next with it, to try to figure out about.
It's these 2 parcels.
Yeah, because they're real close, and like I said, but I saw that for sale sign, but I haven't driven up there to see exactly what it is that's for sale. I didn't know if it was with the land and the land with the house, or if it was some of that 7 of Utah's stuff, because they are right close. So
Where's the Greenbelt at? I'm not familiar with that.
The Greenbelt, what's your question?
what is it?
Is there just a small area in the county that's referred to as the Greenbelt?
No, Greenbelt, anybody can be on Greenbelt, but they have to meet the requirements. So Greenbelt is, you have to have 5 acres or more. It has to be devoted to agricultural production. So you have to have cows on it, be hay in it, something like that. It has to produce at least 50% of whatever it's capable of producing. It has to be used for that. So if it can run 100 cows, they have to have at least 50 cows in there. Or if it can produce, 10 ton of hay, you have to at least produce 5 ton of hay. And that's kind of hard because it depends on if it's a dry year, wet year, and cows, it depends on how long you put them in there. You can put 100 cows in a smaller place for, a lot shorter time than you can put 10 cows in the same acreage. So it kind of just depends. But they have to meet those requirements, and then there's a 5-year rollback tax. So it has to stay in Greenbelt. If it's pulled out, then we roll it back 5 years. And they would pay the difference of what they would have paid at market value versus what they paid at tax value. The tax value is figured by the production. It's a 3 and 5 year weighted averages, depends on if it's grazing or hay ground, or if it's wild hay or irrigated cropland like alfalfa or grain. And that all comes from a study done by Utah State. They put it out each year as to the cost, so there's $1 per acre. That's, if it's in Greenbelt, that's what the value is. So it's based on its agricultural production, not its market value. And so that can be, anybody can have that as long as they meet those requirements. We see more of it over here than what you guys are seeing over there. A lot of the Greenbelt that used to be over around Garden City has all been taken out and turned into developments. You know, people are putting houses, because the highest and best use over there is to put a house on it and sell the house and lot together.
Okay.
It's not running cows on it, you know.
Right.
This year cow prices are up, but in other years cow prices, you can't pay big money for ground and make any money running cows on it. Does that make sense? So it's kind of based on the highest and best use.
You know, my property bumps up against, Bakersfield, I don't know how many acres are in there, 80, 100, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They put cows on that every year.
Yeah, yep, and it qualifies for Greenbelt because they put the cows in there and graze it off. And if they're grazing, they usually use up more than 50% of what it's capable of producing, but it has to meet the acreage requirement, and so it has to be 5 acres without a home site. So it has to be straight acreage, and then the use, you know, it has to be agricultural production, and then the other acreage is the 50%. And then they have to be aware of that 5-year rollback tax provision. And they are responsible, that is a lien upon the land. If it's not paid, it goes with the land and it's a lien. So,
What's his responsibility of proof that he's doing
basically we
ag?
have had the Greenbelt signed statement.
That's
And
it.
then we try to, I mean, we can audit, we can go check and see if there's cows and stuff up in there.
There's cows there. I didn't know he had them, owned any.
And I don't know that, but I know that outfit there's some partners, because the guy I'm talking to is Sean Wallen, or Whalen, something like that. He signed that
Is he
stuff.
the one that owns the building?
I don't know. That's what I'm gonna ask him next time I talk to him, which I'll talk to him about it on this. But like I
Says he
said,
owns 50 cows, so
yeah.
we gotta find out.
So I'll find out if he owns the house, because that's my next. I got to figure out who has that and why they didn't get a building permit.
So-
It wouldn't surprise me if it's this one, but it's so close to the line. I don't know if it's 7 of Utah or if it's Revolution Ridge. And like I said, with them being multiple owners, it's a little.
Is 7 of Utah and Greenbelt too?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you want from us?
So what he's wanting is to reinstate his Greenbelt. Because, like I said he sent the application, and I can't prove that he did or didn't. He said he emailed the Greenbelt recertification to me.
Okay.
I know there's cows there.
I'd make a motion that we reinstate the Greenbelt status on what's the name?
Revolution
On Revolution Ridge
Ridge, yeah.
for further investigation.
Okay.
So we're not reinstating it? Sorry, I didn't.
We are, yeah.
Okay, I agree with you. I think that those are 2 separate problems. If he's grazing, I second the motion to reinstate Greenbelt.
Okay, moving second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by the same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
So the motion was to reinstate the Greenbelt?
Yes.
The Greenbelt status.
Revolution Ridge?
Yes. Because where I'd already closed my assessment roll, I can't make the change. That had to come from you guys. So
Okay.
thank you for that. And then I'll get with you on that. That's all
Okay.
I have, unless you guys have something else for me. I guess I shouldn't jump up and just rush off. I have plenty of time, so if you guys have anything else for
We're good with
me.
the BOE thing, we're getting prepared and,
I think we're working pretty good. I've
Communication?
stipulated, yeah, we've been working good together to
Yeah.
try to
Okay.
figure out whether we need to stipulate, whether they meet the requirements for primary res or things like that. So
okay.
we've cleaned up a few problems like that and kind of working through the rest.
All right.
So,
Can I ask you a question on this, Ferguson?
oh yes, and I sent a stipulation to him, cause, it's Dave, right?
Yeah,
Dave Borgenson?
yeah.
He has a piece of property that he bought from, I don't know who I think it was Theron and Luray, or it's right up there by Theron and Luray.
It was, he bought it from Theron and Luray.
So then, yeah, so he got it, and then he ended up deeding back to Theron and Luray just in 24, so just last year. A 0.16 of an acre. It's a little strip. Almost looked like maybe somewhere they could drive. So
And
it's a
that's
little.
in your packet, like in the one that says
So it's a little teeny strip,
Yeah,
but it would drop him from 0.98 of an acre to 0.82 of an acre. And I tried to stipulate and say it's not gonna change the value, because it's valued as a lot value. So up to an acre is valued at a lot value, and he disagrees and thinks that it should be, affect the value. But it's a lot value, it's not gonna change it. It's a little teeny strip right up by the front of it.
It's only
And-
like 16 feet wide, if I remember right.
What's that?
It's only like 16 feet wide.
Yeah, it's like a, somewhere you could drive up there or something.
Very manageable.
well,
But-
and that's the original, that's the thing, that was an original easement, basically, that people were using, but when it come right down to it, it wasn't a recorded easement within the subdivision.
Yeah, something, like I said, he's up in Meadowville. And so it's a little strip, and there's a map there, I think.
There is.
And so you can see that little teeny strip where it just,
It's between.
it's right here. See how the line comes down and then it just comes out? It comes right down. So it was from this line over, so it's a teeny strip right there. But he's valued at a lot value here, and it's a $50,000 lot value, and that's not gonna change whether it's 0.82 of an acre or 0.98 of an acre. But he's arguing that it will change it, and that it should change it. But it's not the way we value, like I said, I've got a lot value on it. And so, and it's consistent with everything else, the way we valued everything else out in that area. It's not like his is the only one valued at a lot value. So, but he refused, and I can go get the paperwork that actually says, but he refused the stipulation. And he wants to come to the, I can't remember, it wasn't BOE, I don't know what he was calling it. He did initials, but like I said, I can go get that if you want to talk about that for a second.
Well,
Or we can bring it,
we'll
revisit it.
we'll revisit it when it comes up at the hearing.
Yeah, I don't know if we need, if he's gonna come in anyway.
So we'll just talk about it then. But just so you have a heads up, but it's not gonna change the value as far as I'm concerned.
He's not wanting to go to BOE.
Yeah. That's what he's wanting.
That's exactly what he wants.
I thought he was coming here, but apparently he's coming to BOE.
I talked to him about discussing it in this meeting. And then
Okay.
if he's refusing to stipulate,
Yeah, he said, because I said it won't change the value, but we corrected the acreage. And I talked to Kaia yesterday about it, and so it's like, yeah, it looks like that's all in order, but it's just, he thinks it's gonna affect the value.
So in his letter, he said the parcel description had not been corrected. Who would make the parcel description corrected?
The parcel description, that comes from Kaia.
Okay.
And like I said, that was just done last year, so I think it's just a matter of updating the legal. And you might even have it done, I'm not sure.
I remember looking at
So what's it require of us?
I should have it.
He's coming to BOE because he's wanting to change the value. He thinks it's gonna change the
Will
value.
you double
but-
check to make sure that's done before BOE? Okay. And we
I
could
don't
tell
know.
them, it's all done, the value's the same. We knew what we had, whether the description was
Yeah.
proper or not. We remember him coming in.
So, anyway,
Okay.
Alrighty.
anything else for me?
Sure we can think of something.
I'm out of here then. Fast.
We're gonna start digging.
I'll get you a copy of the approval for Emily Ray.
Thank you, Kim.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, we got 30 minutes. Kaia, you wanna come up?
This is the fun part where I have to state my name and stuff.
Yeah, for the record.
Alright, Kaia Bowden, County Recorder. Well, we'll start with the easy one. First order of business, on my end. So, as we are moving forward and getting more, focused on like digital data and information, I'm having a lot more requests for countywide digital data. specifically in the form of a shapefile, which is a GIS file. I'm having a lot of companies that are wanting a shapefile for the entire county and all of its data. That being said, normally when we send county-wide data to people asking for it, aside from other government offices, we charge for it. It's a $250 fee for like our tax roll and our assessment roll. And I was wondering if I could get approval to charge that same amount for a shapefile, since it is the same information, it's just in a different format.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's the information we're charging for, whatever the format is. So are we up? So is everything working with our GIS then, as far as what's going on there?
I have it halfway back at this point. I got the majority of the information that I need. It's just a little harder to see at the moment. I have been in contact with Sunrise consistently through this, and they are working as diligently as possible.
So this is on the Sunrise end?
Yeah, Esri went through and changed the licensing formats,
Yeah.
and they're trying to get all of their licensing back up and running with not only our county but the other counties they work with. So
Okay.
it's been a longer process than I would have liked, but unfortunately that's on their end and I can't control that.
Who you working with Sunrise?
Jerem, he used to work with us. He's kind of like the head guy, and I'm working with a couple of guys that are underneath him as well, so.
Okay. And we're only halfway back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as far as the fee schedule, we're not increasing the fee schedule, it's just a matter of allowing
Actually implementing it, yeah.
well, yeah, we're just including the shape files in that fee schedule as well as the other data.
Yes.
So the shapefile and the assessments, the shapefile has all the assessment stuff in it?
Pretty much. I mean, so it pretty much has everything that our assessment role does. As of right now, I don't think it has like as much as it doesn't have like the tax data on it, but that can be added in at a later time if we wish to do so.
Okay.
So it's literally both of those roles combined at one
Yeah.
point, which we'd be charging for anyways, so.
Yeah. I mean, eventually down the road, I'd like to get it self-serve enough that it doesn't cost anybody anything. Like in Utah County, they update it nightly and you can just go download it.
Well, and that's my plan too, but,
Yeah.
right, for like these companies that are wanting the actual file itself.
Yeah, and they're
I feel
requiring
like,
work.
I feel like they shouldn't get that for free if we would charge them for any other countywide data that we'd give them.
Yeah, okay, if that's what you think. Since we're not increasing anything, I'll make a motion that do we even need a motion for that? Or should-
I would assume so.
Make a motion that we include the shapefile and the recorder fees at the same rate as the assessment and tax rolls.
Second.
Okay, moving second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by the same sign, motion carries. So you can do her.
Perfect. Okay, now for the fun part. 2 weeks ago, my Mylar scanner, my survey scanner, it died. Can't do anything with it. I hoped I could limp it through for another year, but I don't, it's dead now. So, I have a couple of things that I have found here. I only printed off one copy of each, so I apologize, but I will give these to you. So these two are just buying them outright. They are expensive, but this one, I contacted the company that we are contracted through with our Ricoh printers, and they could add a new scanner in there in our contract for this, and there's the information on that. I would like to push to have it contracted through our Ricoh company, because that would come with technical support, which the other two options would not, as well as I could get rid of one of the computers in my office because it would then become obsolete. I could not with the other two because their software will only support up to Windows 7, which would require me to keep that extra computer. But this one I could just do it off of my computer because it will go up to Windows 11. And it would just be contracted, so if anything breaks at any time, they would come out and fix it. And
So is Rico in the state contract?
I'm not sure, we just
Rico
redid
does the one out in the hall?
Yes.
Is
It's
it the Rico, or is it, are you talking about the company in Evanston?
the company in Evanston that we contract Rico through.
Okay.
So how much was this one? What?
$250 a month? Is that what it was?
This is just 5,000 one time. This is 4,000. Not a big price difference, is there?
I mean, you end up paying more for this one, but
You
they
got
will
the-
come fix it, and for something that you need to just work all the time. The fact that you're still using Windows 7 to make that other one work is kind of crazy.
Well, this other one isn't even on Windows 7.
It's like Windows, whatever was before 7.
It's,
I
yeah,
don't know what was
whatever,
before 7.
whatever was the one before 7, and that's the only reason I have that computer in there is for that scanner. So, if I could get that one, that would eliminate a computer that.
So do you scan to that
Almost.
computer and then send it to other computers?
It's a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, it sounds like a security risk as far as like having that computer on the network.
Well, and that computer's on its last leg too. So, and I don't think Brian and Matt have another computer that would run off of. That's that old. That's still living and breathing.
Well, I think if we bought the $5,000 printer, we'll probably end up needing to. Printers are just kind of hard to keep going anyway, so we'd end up spending more. We're going to spend the same,
In maintenance.
yeah, long term. So it'd probably just be better just to do a lease and have them come take care of it. But I don't know what you guys think. That's my opinion. What do you think, Bill?
So,
I'd also be fine just buying one.
Oh, I'm fine either way, but like I said, it would streamline things if I was able to just get rid of that computer completely.
Which you can do with either option.
No, these ones will only work up to Windows 7. That one that Bill has, and then this one right here.
So we need to do this one.
and that's under, we can do that under the Rico contract?
Yes. I had him send that to me directly.
Okay, let me see what that one, I haven't seen that one. And it
And
would be
these,
just an amended contract, or would it be a separate contract?
he said the contract is on the back side of that. I believe I included that in the packet there. I do believe it will be a separate contract, but I can ask him if we can combine that into our already existing contract, if that's something you guys would prefer.
It would be nice to renew everything at one time rather than start a new term rate on this one. He might do it depending on how many years we have left, because I think they're usually like a 5-year.
Well, and we just barely renewed the contracts anyway, so
Yeah.
might be able to squeeze it in. I'm not sure,
I'm guessing he would.
but because I think we renewed the contract in June, maybe May or June.
And this is a lease, so we never really own it. Includes a 5-year replacement with service contract.
Yeah, and you don't want to own printers, I don't think. They're a technology that gets pretty old pretty fast. And they have enough moving parts that they wear out.
I can tell you just on that scanner, I've spent more time doing maintenance on that scanner since I've been just working here, not even in office. I've done more maintenance on that scanner than I have scanning, so
And it's probably been here forever though.
I think it's
paid
older
for
than I
itself.
am.
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome.
replacement with service contract. So every 5 years they'll replace it.
I'm guessing during that 5-year term, they would replace it. And then at the end of the 5 years, you'd probably renegotiate. Something down there, just bring a new one in.
On these leases, it's a 5-year lease.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the 5-year lease, then they replace it and you start on a new 5-year lease. So in the 5 years, we'll pay,
15 grand,
yep,
250 times 12 times.
It's 15, I did the math. Which, it does look like a lot of money, but considering that if we were to just buy a brand new scanner outright, it would be closer to 20 or 30 grand for the size format that I need, or the format size that I need.
so these aren't the format size you need.
They are, I just wouldn't be able to streamline it, excuse me, which I don't, either way, it doesn't matter to me, but it would be nice to have a little extra room in my office. Get rid of some of the obsolete technology that we're keeping around for one thing.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the purchase of, just trying to get what scanner it is, the Canon TM355M FP Z36 multifunction document system.
Okay, that's the lease.
That's the lease.
Okay, I'll second that.
Hey, got a motion, a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Try to see if he'll get it on our other lease
I'll talk to
at
them
the
about
same
it.
term.
Yeah,
Can I
I'll
get a
talk.
copy of it?
Yeah, if they don't want it, you can take it.
Probably need all, put them all, so we got the bids. Keep them all.
If these guys don't need it, I'll just give this copy to, cause I have it all on my computer, so.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, we just want your stuff to work so that you can work.
And it's a bad time of year too. I'm getting to the end of the year where I need to start scanning in my new plats, and so I was sweating a little bit. So, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, you done with these?
10 minutes.
I've read the minutes. If you guys want to read them, I'll make a motion to approve them. I saw nothing that, that we needed to check. That we needed to change or correct, I'm sorry.
Okay, I can read it really fast. Okay, I'll second that motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, move second to approve the minutes for August 6th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
This right here, this back page, I mostly just wanted to confirm that I mean, some of these for sure are the $25 non-impact business license fee. Some of them are not. So I should have made my recommendations, but I wanted you guys to kind of look them over and see if you want me to continue charging $25 for all of those for next year.
So the fee schedule's $50 if it's not in their house, right?
No, it can be in their house, it's whether or not it impacts, I mean, that was my interpretation of how you came up with the structure, was whether it impacted traffic, whether there was a lot of people coming to and fro. Maybe that's what we need to figure out, is what the definition of an in-home license versus a legitimate business license that's run out of a home.
Well, an in-home business was $25, and if there was business, if the business took place outside of their home, it was $50. That was my understanding of the fee structure.
So is that,
That's my question, cause I thought it was based on impact, and it kind of varies, like, different, it's kind of across the board, so wanted to understand how you guys wanted it to
Okay, let's do a little more. So do we have a list of all businesses that have licenses?
Yeah, I can do that.
So let's generate a list of that and look at where the fee structure falls in on those across the board and see what you're talking, we wanna be consistent, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I can get that for you next month.
Can you do that? Okay. Let's do that. And in the meantime, I don't know, we need a fee structure across the board for the county, right? Everything we charge fees for, we need to.
Do we have resolutions for most of these? I
Some
mean,
of them.
how would we start to begin to research that?
I don't know, we'll have to look at that, probably.
I did, when I first came into office, I did pass around, and I didn't get a lot of information, so I can try it again, and
Yeah, we'll have to, okay. We'll put that on the list of what we'll talk about next month is our fee structure, okay?
okay.
all right, I'd entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Moving second, to pay the bills for August. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So have we covered that property recording issue? Was that what Kaia was?
No.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Is that what you listed?
That's the item on here, the recording issue. That's
Okay.
the borders and property.
Okay.
We'll take a 5-minute recess and then start with the public hearing then.
Come, like 11:30 or 11:45.
Yeah, let's get it, cause we'll be done.
Okay.
Well, I'll bet we got at least 11:45 or.
You're gonna try and get on the Bragg meeting now?
Yeah.
You think Lynn's will take a while?
Hmm?
Guess we could turn it on and mute ourselves.
I've got it paused, so let me know when you want.
So,
My clock's quicker than that one, so we can get started here in a minute.
well, so we need to pass around
Roll.
of everybody that's gonna speak.
I've got a roll right there at the front, at the door, if everyone could sign in and participate in the public hearing. Thank you. If we are gonna take a break, then I'll be right back. Don't start without my recording open.
Okay. You chairman, you chairman of Bragg? Lee Perry.
Oh, I should look around, I guess.
All right, we'll get started with our public hearing. Welcome everyone for being here. I'd invite Ben to come on up, and there's been a ordinance in place all along. I'm gonna let Ben explain a little bit about the difference of what we're doing today in comparison with what we've already have in paper. And Commissioner Cox pointed out is very true, is this applies to Rich County. It's not anything to do with the city municipalities. So if the cities did it, they would have to adopt it themselves. It has nothing to do with us, right?
Do you want me to address the?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Just by show of hands, so I know who I'm speaking to, how many of you are here for the dog ordinance discussion? Okay, everybody, great. All right, well, my name's Ben Willoughby, I'm the Rich County Attorney, and as mentioned, we have had a dog ordinance in place since August of 2022. The proposal today is to make a few changes to that. The changes are to make it less reliant on impounding, which has kind of proved impractical for the county to impound and keep these animals, and to make it more flexible, to impose a fine structure for first, second, and third offenses. And I'll just walk through each change specifically,
Yeah, cool.
and then we can answer any questions. So the first change that it makes is, and by show of hands, how many have read the old ordinance? So I know nobody has. Okay, then I'll go a little more in depth. All right. Okay, so first off, animal is defined to be any vertebrate creature, domestic or wild. At large is defined as an animal that is roaming off of the keeper's property while not under proper restraint. Pet includes any animal that's kept for pleasure rather than utility. Pet specifically includes dogs and cats. Pet does not include a dog employed by law enforcement. One of the key provisions is public nuisance. Public nuisance when it comes to keeping an animal means that either it does any of the following. Number one is that it molests passersby or passing vehicles, that it attacks other animals, that it trespasses on school grounds, that it is repeatedly at large. The proposal today would remove the word repeatedly, so it would just be at large. So a dog just roaming through town without being under the control of its keeper could be dealt with. So that is at large, that damages private or public property, that barks, whines, or howls in an excessive, continuous, or untimely fashion, or that lunges at fences. The new provision would also add, a dog's barking, whining, or howling is excessive when it unreasonably disturbs the peace and enjoyment of neighbors, or keeps neighbors awake, or can be heard inside a neighbor's home.
So what do you mean by length of time? What would that be, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes? For clarification on that.
Well, that, right now it would just say that howling, whining, or barking is excessive when it unreasonably disturbs the peace and enjoyment of neighbors. I mean, a dog is going to bark if a raccoon comes into the area, or at night if somebody's walking through the area, a dog is going to bark. I think it's unreasonable when it's unprompted, when it's lengthy, when it's disturbing the enjoyment of neighbors, keeping them awake, and can be heard inside your homes.
Yeah, excessive is big, so that's why it'd be nice if it had some time limit on it.
Okay, that could be considered certainly by, it's a great question.
Yeah, because, excessive to you is different than
Okay. Let's see. Vicious animal is defined. Vicious animal means any animal that has, by an instance of its behavior, posed a physical threat to any human being or another animal. A vicious animal includes any animal that has bitten a human being without adequate provocation. Adequate provocation only exists when the animal is defending itself or a human from actual physical attack. Bite is defined as any actual puncture, tear, or abrasion of the skin inflicted by an animal's teeth. Later we'll see that there's a prohibition on keeping wild animals as pets under this. A wild animal is defined as any primate, raccoon, skunk, fox, a poisonous snake, a crocodilian, leopard, panther, tiger, lion, lynx, coyote, wolf, bear, any poisonous animal, or any warm-blooded animal which is normally found only in the wild state. Section 3 is requirements for keeping a pet. All dogs, except for service animals, hunting dogs, or dogs working livestock, shall be kept under restraint when the dog is in public or likely to come into contact with people in the public. This includes the keeper's yard when the dog is not otherwise appropriately restrained by fencing. 2, keepers must exercise proper care and control of his or her animals to prevent them from becoming a public nuisance. Any female pet in heat shall be confined in a building or secure enclosure in such a manner that the animal cannot mate, except for planned breeding. A keeper shall quickly remove and properly dispose of all fecal droppings of pet leaves on property, public property, or private property belonging to another person. Dogs must wear an identification tag on its collar at all times when off the private property of the keeper. Section 4, service animals, hunting dogs, and dogs working livestock. A working dog while being used for herding livestock, a hunting dog while lawfully being used to hunt game, and a dog being trained for herding or hunting shall not be deemed to be an animal at large and does not need to be restrained if the dog is under the proper control of its keeper. A service animal that is properly certified and licensed for helping persons with disabilities or being trained to do so does not need to be physically restrained if the dog is under the proper direct control of its keeper. Section 5, no wild animals as pets. No person may keep or permit to be kept a wild animal as a pet in Rich County. A wild animal being kept as a pet may be impounded and is subject to forfeiture. Section 6, impoundment of animals. Any animal that becomes a public nuisance may be taken by the Sheriff's Department and impounded in a safe, secure, and humane location. B,
I have a question about that.
Sure, go ahead, sir.
When I was talking to Sheriff Stacy a month or two ago about the impoundment, he said he has no place to impound an animal. So how can you enforce that if you don't have a place to impound it?
Well, there's, I guess, two things here in answer to your question. One is the practical ability to impound, and that is a separate issue. The second is the legal availability to impound. I mean, if we have a vicious animal that's just walking through the neighborhood and you don't know who owns it, what are you going to do but impound it, right? There's no citation to be issued. Short of putting it down on the spot, you have to have the legal availability to impound it. Now, as far as the practical ability to perform an impound, that's, I guess, up to the sheriff. Anything else to say about that? Okay.
I wondered if, in extreme circumstances, if you got one that's roaming and biting everybody and yada yada, if they couldn't take it nearby, like Evanston has a pound, could we pay them to hold them for a while?
They would if the animal was if it was one that had bitten something,
Yeah.
and was deemed to be a danger to the public, they would take that until the measures of number one, if it had bitten someone, to make sure that the dog was tested, and then number two, as to whether the dog would need to be put down. So.
Yeah, I imagine this would only be extreme cases, and usually it's something that like most people would be on agreement that like this dog has to go. It's bit people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a German Shepherd wandering through a neighborhood menacing kids. This allows for the possibility of impoundment. The practical issues, you're right, have to also be there.
Yeah, because when I was talking to Sheriff Stacy, he took the dog over to Evanston and they handed him his butt back. Or over at Logan, and they said, no, we can't impound it. So I don't know what the circumstances around that.
I don't imagine they'll impound very many animals. You know, if, you know.
So you could-
And he'll have to figure that out when the time comes, but this gives him the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Which he already had. This existed.
We've always had that ability.
Yeah.
This isn't one of the changes, that's for sure. So I see you all have a copy of the statute in front of you. So we're on section 6 on page 3, if you want to turn there with me. Section 6 is impoundment of animals. Subsection B, the sheriff's department shall give prompt notice to the owner or keeper, if known, that the animal has been impounded. Impounded animals shall be returned to the owner or keeper promptly, unless forfeiture proceedings have been commenced. Forfeiture proceedings, we'll get to in a minute, would be commenced if the animal is vicious. The law allows a vicious animal to be impounded and either put down, or there's humane farms around the state that to try to avoid animals being put down and take them and keep them safe. Subsection C, a person claiming an impounded animal shall pay a fee of $25 plus $25 for any subsequent day in which the animal was under the custody of the sheriff's department. That would be to offset the costs of impounding and feeding. Subsection D, any animal not reclaimed within 3 working days shall become the property of the county and shall be placed for adoption in a suitable home or euthanized. Placing the animal for a suitable adoption is strongly preferred over euthanasia. Subsection E, in addition to or in lieu of impounding an animal found at large, this change would just say any peace officer may issue to the keeper of such animal a citation for violation of this ordinance. F, no unclaimed dog or cat shall be released for adoption without being sterilized or without a written agreement from the adopter guaranteeing that such animal will be sterilized. Section 7, vicious animals. If law enforcement has probable cause that an animal is vicious, the animal shall be impounded. The county attorney shall be immediately notified that a vicious animal has been impounded. The reason why the county attorney has to be notified is that Utah state law, we can't just take a vicious animal and put it down. We have to, it's a forfeiture proceeding, no different than if the government were taking your car or any other property that belongs to you. An animal is your property. You have to go through legal forfeiture proceedings. There is an act in Utah, which is Title 24. It's called the Utah Forfeiture and Disposition of Seized Property Act. And it sets out a set of procedures that the government has to follow when property is deemed forfeited to the state. And the county attorney has to make the decision if an animal that's vicious is taken in, whether we're going to pursue forfeiture proceedings. And that's why the county attorney has to be notified immediately. Subsection C, you see, the county attorney shall then determine whether civil or criminal forfeiture proceedings are appropriate. If so, appropriate proceedings shall be commenced as required by law. And D, a vicious animal impounded under this section shall be kept by the sheriff's department until a final determination is made by the court on whether the animal will be forfeited by the owner. Section 8, which is the penalty, this is the real meat of what has been changed here. The old provision, the old ordinance we've had since 2022, made this just a blanket Class B misdemeanor and left the fines up to the judge to impose. A Class B misdemeanor in the state of Utah is punishable, so the maximum fine is $2,500 down to 0, so there's a lot of discretion there that the judge would follow. This tweaks that, sets out the fine that we intend, and it ramps it up for a first, second, and third violation inside a 12-month period. So if you read with me, under subsection 1, a violation of this ordinance is an infraction and is punishable by a $100 fine. And for other infractions in the law, it would be like a seatbelt ordinance, maybe running a stop sign is an infraction, and it sets out a $100 fine. Section 2, a violation of this ordinance within 12 months of a prior conviction or a documented warning by a peace officer. And documented would be, the officer met with the owner, gave them a warning, generated a report about the warning, and we have a second violation within 12 months of that, that would become a Class C misdemeanor and is punishable by a $250 fine. And Section 3, a violation of this ordinance within a 12 months of any combination of 2 or more convictions or documented warnings of a peace officer is a Class B misdemeanor and is punishable by a $690 fine, which is the standard fine in the state of Utah for Class B misdemeanor under the fine and bail schedule.
I want to ask you a question
Sure.
about those rates. I'm wondering if it's set by the state of Utah somehow, because where I live over in Garden City in Swan Creek Village, $100 fine is like a $10 fine to some of these guys that are wealthy. And so I think the $100 fine is minimal for what the people that I'm concerned about, that have the dogs that are barking for 2 hours at a time, would just say, okay, here's your $100.
Yeah, that's part of the difficulty. So for an infraction, for instance, the fine by law under state law can go up to $1,000. But it'd be up to the commission to decide. $100 isn't much for some people.
Right.
For other people, it's quite a bit.
Exactly.
$100 for me is a lot.
Yeah.
250 ramps it up.
So it could be increased on a case-by-case basis?
On a third violation is proposed. A third violation within 12 months, it would be a $690 fine.
Yeah, and that's still kind of minimal for some of these guys.
Minimal for some and
Yeah, a lot
substantial for,
others, yeah. That's why I
I
was
think
wondering
most
if
of
it
us.
could be on a case-by-case basis.
Probably not.
Probably not,
yeah.
okay.
No, could you imagine writing a speeding ticket based on,
Who you are.
yeah,
There's really no other provision. There's no area in Utah law that takes somebody's wealth into account in setting fines. I mean, for instance, a Class C is capped at $2,500 by law. And that would be the maximum a court can impose on you. And obviously, for some people, even $2,500 isn't a lot. And then the last, Section 9 is just a standard severability. If the court strikes down one provision, the others survive. And then Section 10 is the effective date that if passed this amendment by the county commission, it would be posted and then become active law. So I personally, I don't live in a rural setting. I live in a dense neighborhood, and dogs are always an issue, and it's very frustrating when there's a dog. Where I live, I personally went through a dog that was just barking nonstop, and trying to get the courts or something to do something about it was very frustrating. I eventually just went on Amazon.com and found a device that cost me $40, and you just put a battery in it, you put it in your yard. When the dog barks, it triggers a hypersonic immediately. So the dog bark is followed by a painful whistle that only the dog can hear, and it got me relief within about 5 barks. And maybe every 7 days the dog does 1 bark to test if the battery's dead. But it's kind of a good. I think it's it's always a frustration for when dogs are barking. It's an immediate frustration, and so you want to have the ability for the county government, the sheriff and the courts, to incrementally get involved. And I think that the proposal to have an infraction, a Class C and a Class B, is so that we don't come thundering into somebody's life unreasonably and too quickly, but that we can address repeated problems for owners that are irresponsible. And then what caused this provision to be what happened in 2022 to cause the commission to enact this ordinance was that we had I think 1 dog that over the span of a week bit like 2 people, and we found ourselves without an ability to put the dog down or to seize it. And we were able to resolve that through some negotiation with the person. But we wanted to primarily make sure that we could address dangerous pets. And so that's the proposal, and obviously the county commission can do what they want, but that's kind of the theme behind it, is to have an incremental, generally reasonable way to get involved in the lives of an irresponsible pet keeper, but able to also quickly react through impoundment or forfeiture when there is a genuinely vicious animal that's, you know, threatening our children, our animals, our pets, our livestock, or our, you know, the people in our community. So, probably talked too much, but do you have any questions for me before I sit down?
And
Yes, ma'am.
before you start, would you please state your name when you have a comment or something, so our clerk can record?
I'm Audrey Jessen, I live in Woodruff. So is the 690 the max per calendar year? I have a unique situation, that's why I'm asking.
Sure.
In the summer, the kids are off school. I have this dirt road that goes past my house. And it's a great place to ride your dirt bikes and your ATVs. And my dogs bark. And my neighbors don't like my dogs. So I will get a $100 fine every single day, all summer long. I bring my dogs in, you know, but they gotta go out to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So, I
And
mean,
it was so bad last year, I went to the Woodruff Town Board and made a complaint, and their solution was to get a hold of every parent and let them know it's not desirable to have them driving back and forth for hours all day during the summer.
so your dogs are fenced, I take it?
Yes, they
Okay.
are fenced.
So the issue is barking at
Yes,
passersby?
they're barking.
Okay,
Which
so,
is their job.
Yeah.
It does get
So
obnoxious.
she lives in the city and this doesn't apply.
okay. Wouldn't apply to you, but, you know, there are ways mechanically to get your dogs to stop barking. You know, you could buy one of
I've
those
tried, I've got
devices
bark
that,
collars. One of them's a sight hound, and when they come by, she's just, you know, barking. She sees them zip by through the wood fence. So I just kinda wondering, do I just, you know, plan for the $690 per year? Or is that the max, or is it?
if this applied to you, it's violations, it gets to $690 on the third or any subsequent violation, so it's not capped
Which,
per
you
year.
know, I could get in 3 days when they're.
So,
when it's
have the sheriffs came to your place?
So I'm trying to be, you know, peaceful about it.
Cause this, what I'm saying is this, the sheriff has to come there three times.
And it's up to his discretion too. I mean, he could visit you a few times, and, you know, this is for people that chronically don't care, you know?
Well, I do care, I mean, sometimes.
And
my
I
dogs
think,
get on my nerves, you know.
most of us know that, but if there's somebody that just doesn't give a crap, you know, the sheriff has the ability, just like you can get a warning when you get pulled over, you know, if it actually feels like giving you a ticket's not gonna help beyond how bad you already feel, it's just the ability to do it.
Well, I just don't wanna be that neighbor that starts, calling the sheriff who's going like all the dirt bikes, you know, complaining about the dirt bikes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great path to play on, but it does get obnoxious, so I was just kinda wondering.
Yeah, you know, if you haven't had trouble with the sheriff,
Oh, no, but I've
since
seen my neighbor
2022.
complains constantly, all summer long.
well, yeah, that's probably the best answer, I guess, what Commissioner Lee said.
Okay.
Okay.
Seems to me like there's a difference between the noise during the day
Mhm.
and the noise at night. I mean, during the day, we have
Yeah,
lots
no,
of noise
my
in the
dogs are
country,
in it,
you know what I
you know,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the motored vehicles would bother me worse than the dogs, but
Yeah.
the nighttime is an issue because people are trying to sleep.
Yeah,
And I wonder about enforcement too. You know, how is this gonna be enforced? Neighbors don't wanna call in neighbors.
Yeah, they kinda.
And where do you know where the noise is coming from? You know, kind of. So, anyway.
yeah,
Yep.
Like in my
points.
circumstance, we've gone down and talked to the owner and he just basically said, tough. So our circumstance is different than other people, and we're getting more and more people moving in and developing, and they bring their pets. So one dog barks and then another dog barks and then another, pretty soon you got 6 dogs barking. And everybody expects a dog to bark for 5 or 10 minutes, but not for 30 or 45 or 2 hours constantly. And that's where it becomes a nuisance. And it's it's amazing how the sound carries in our area. I assume it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
But we can go in our house, close the doors, and we can still hear the dog barking. And that's where we have problems, where we talked to the owner, and he's basically said, tough, deal with it. And so that's when I got a hold of the sheriff and found out that there wasn't a way to really enforce the original ordinance. The verbiage wasn't in there like you got now.
Well, hopefully this helps you.
And I agree, if people go and talk to an owner and explain the situation and they do their best to contain it, I don't think they're gonna make a big deal out of it. But if it's consistent, then, you know, I've got my things that I have to deal with too. And so it's a rough situation. And my concern is with the owners where you talk to them and they tell you it's too bad, deal with it. And that's where I like this.
Good. Well, I hope it helps you. Then, sir, did you have a question back there?
Yeah, Kelly Thompson. The last thing you wanna do is wrestle with your neighbors, you know, in your neighborhood. Your device that makes this high-pitched squeal, did you make your neighbor that owned the dog knowledgeable that you were gonna do that, or are you required to do that?
I don't think you're required to tell them you have it if you put it on your own property, but I think it'll, you know, maybe neighborly to tell them that you have it.
Some dogs bark for fun, but most dogs are barking because they need something. They're either out of water, or they need food, or they need to be let out for a run or something. So the last thing I would wanna do is, the dog's already receiving abuse, if you wanna view it that way. So we complain, now the abuse is gonna get worse. They're either gonna beat the dog to try and keep him from barking, or, you know, something's gonna happen. The dog's gonna have to bear the brunt, unfortunately. I'm not really in favor of that. But,
You're right, though.
yeah,
My dog gets me in trouble. He's gonna get his butt kicked.
yeah. And it's okay to a certain degree if you're training an animal, but if you're just beating him, trying to make him shut up, it ain't gonna work. In my neighborhood, we have a lot of dogs. Yeah, they're in every direction, and they all bark. My dog barks. But for 35 seconds,
Yeah.
not 35 hours. We have a dog that barks for 35 hours. And I feel really sorry for him. But I don't know what to do. Okay, that's it, I'm done.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I had a question. Well, first off, I'm Matthew Jessen, her son. And with us, we have a couple dogs, and frequently they bark when they're playing with each other. So I'm worried, would that also cause us to get an infraction if they're just playing with each other?
Nobody gets an infraction unless there is a chronic problem that is complained about, and the sheriff feels like after various warnings, it's not, you know, it's not being heeded. That's just his tool to mitigate how neighbors talk to each other. It's his mitigation tool that maybe the cost of a ticket would inspire owners to, you know, take care of things. Again, it's just a tool. It's kind of like our noise ordinance. Before we had one, he didn't have any way of enforcing things, but now there's a mechanism, you know, after 10 p.m., if there's construction, he can go to the guys and say, you're gonna get a ticket. So it's just a tool for our sheriff's department to help neighbors mediate, and come to a resolution. We're not trying to crack down on anything. It's just something that's been requested by community members, but also by the sheriff's department to help them handle these complaints.
Well, to also further it, just a small little question about it. With it, I'm worried about it being weaponized by our neighbors because they have shown constant hatred and distaste towards us. where we've even have gotten complaints from them over my younger brother just simply jumping on our trampoline. So I'm worried if it will have any way to prevent it from being weaponized by hateful individuals.
Well, anything can be weaponized by anybody, right? But we have a pretty good sheriff and good deputies, so I think the risk of the law being weaponized against, law-abiding citizens is not going to be I wouldn't be worried about it.
This has been a Class B misdemeanor since 2022, and so.
Wow. And again, unless the city adopts this ordinance, this doesn't apply to the people who live in the cities. This is unincorporated areas, so, if you live in a city right now, unless the city adopts their own ordinance, which they'll have their own public hearing, this does not apply.
That's a good point.
So are you saying it wouldn't apply in Woodruff, Jody Stewart, wouldn't apply in Woodruff, wouldn't apply in Randolph?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the people out in the country?
Well,
Okay.
the city will have to
Okay.
adopt their own ordinances.
But there
if
isn't
that's-
one.
And that's their own, if they want the same ordinance, they're more than willing to adopt it. But if they want to write their own ordinance, and then that's an issue that the city council will need to deal with, and then that gives a tool for the sheriff to enforce the ordinance within the city.
Many times they will adopt the same, because we've done all the legwork.
Right.
But they would have to do that. If you haven't had problems, you're probably not gonna have problems. That's
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Go ahead.
I have a comment here on section 7, vicious animal. It says the law enforcement has probable cause for a vicious animal to be impounded. If you have a vicious animal and it bites someone, is there a provision in here, and I'm not seeing it, that animal has to be monitored? I believe it's 10-day period to check to see if they might have rabies.
That would be the purpose of the impoundment.
Okay.
So, if there's probable cause that the animal is vicious and it happens to bite somebody, it would be impounded for that very reason.
That's a great question, and that's covered in state law, and also if the legal mechanism to go from impoundment to forfeiture takes months.
Okay.
And so the 10 days is gobbled up almost immediately.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great question.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I think just the last question we didn't answer is the enforcement is under the sheriff's department. That's who would enforce this at the current time.
Correct.
Okay. Nothing online don't go online raising a hand or?
No.
Did you guys open it up for public comment by motion?
Yeah.
I missed that. Who moved?
I did.
Okay.
I can't remember, but retroactively we'll do it.
It's an implied motion.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got a motion to go out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Move the second that we go out of public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. The only question I seen perhaps was what was you turned and says we could consider putting that in the wordage.
Something about the time that the dog is barking for, 30 minutes of continuous barking or 15 minutes, something
I
like
hate to tie our hands, the sheriff's hands too much like with that, but
Yeah, same thing with speeding, there are fines, but they can,
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like to keep it at the discretion of, cause they can take in how the situation is and how many complaints have been, you don't want someone to wait 31 minutes and call every 31 minutes.
That's my thought as well. So, at this point in time, after going over the ordinance and having our public hearing, I would move that we adopt the amended ordinance that we have, with the amendments that's been presented.
Okay, second that.
Okay, moving second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Take force, take place.
Right now.
Okay.
As soon as it's posted.
Will this be posted like at the bulletin boards in the post office and around so public are informed of the new ordinance? How does that information get out?
Also on the county's website under ordinances. Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
coming,
you.
guys. Thank you.
Informed of it, because a lot of people don't know that exists or how to access it.
We can post it on, I'll post it on Facebook. Into the Garden City neighbors for you.
That'd be good. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Let's
What
see.
the heck? You didn't even line us out.
Well, I just don't think it's like I don't know. The only thing that I'm gonna say is if people, like, you guys should make it public who sends in the complaints.
Yeah.
I don't think we get a lot. I don't think if it's affected you, it's not gonna.
Honestly, like, it's probably more so the Airbnb guys or something. I just think that you have to, like, to let people know who's complaining about it, because, I mean, I've got 2 neighbors right here. I was waiting for that one. I was like, oh no, it's my nose.
Sorry, man.
We're still online.
I'm Jane Doe.
Okay, Ben.
Do you have a clean copy of that, or I have?
I got it. We have it signed right here. Let me.
Oh, they've already signed it?
Yep.
Okay.
In fact, I'll just give it.
Thank you.
Can I take a copy with me and?
See ya.
All right. Okay, dogs and canals bring people out.
Yeah.
At least we weren't trying to protect canals.
Kind of caught fire the last couple days online.
The dog thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good change and give the sheriff more direction.
I don't like when people
It's a
come.
tool- It's a tool for him to address an issue. That's, I mean, and that's what needs to happen. If there's a real issue, then there's a tool that, he's got something to back him up, so.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I don't know whether Randolph has an ordinance, and I don't know whether the city of Woodruff has an ordinance as far as those situations, but, you know, if they wanna do something different, then, or Garden City, you know, I mean, I think Garden City has their own ordinance, actually. In fact, I'm almost sure they do, so.
Okay. Well, good job.
Okay.
Sam, just getting back to you on one of your questions.
Yeah.
This is the section of our development code. I bolded the 2 provisions that apply that state that if you do a lot split, you can't do one for another 5 years. Right there as well. I think the reason in reading for it is that they wanted to have people not sidestep the subdivision requirement by doing like lot split, lot split, lot split, and then they're not having to do a subdivision. So I think we could tell them no, but you could also tell them to apply for a variance. And if the planning commission decides that that's not a concern, that's not what's happening, they would have the discretion to allow it.
Okay, and it went through with P&Z, and they had no problem with it as long as you and the commission wouldn't be in trouble for having everybody else come in and wanna do it. Because it's a financial thing more than that he's not gonna build on it.
Okay.
It's not to build on, it's just for the
It doesn't.
to refinance.
It doesn't create, if we choose to allow one, it doesn't create a precedent that
Okay.
we can't stop the next.
That's
I mean,
what
it's
the
the
question
provision
was.
is there to have people not do sneaky subdivisions one lot at a time.
Yeah. Okay,
So, okay.
thank you.
Anything else I can help you gentlemen with?
I can't think of anything. You think anything, Bill?
No, I don't think so. At this point in time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, great. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Needed you today.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. We'll get this posted on our website and you'll post it around town and
Do you normally do that?
No,
the four places.
The copy, the notice went out as a
Yeah,
Class
yeah.
A.
yeah, the notice went out for a public hearing, but as far as posting new ordinances. go.
Just put it on our website.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great.
Okay.
Well, have a good day, guys.
You too. Drive safe. Thanks.
Yeah.
Is Dale coming?
See ya.
See ya.
I never text them.
I guess we can adjourn.
Okay, I'm moving.
Wait. What about the economic development board
yeah, yeah, yeah.
appointments? I
What
see
do you
Nikki's
mean?
on the phone and Sean's there.
Ricky's on, yeah.
Who, have we got one,
Does
please?
that mean it's my time now? Sorry, I heard that I missed an earlier opportunity.
You're fine. You're good.
And Nikki just dropped off. Ah, what a bum deal.
If you knew what she was going to talk about.
All right, gentlemen, are you to that point then? Sorry, I just had someone else here, but I heard economic development in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even in my head.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
Did you have board appointments, you and Nikki?
Yeah, I've got those. If I can share a slide, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be able to. He just has to do it on
Can you
his
get
end,
back
unless
on?
it
We're
requires me
talking.
to give permission.
Okay, she's there.
Says it's not turned on. Oh, Nikki. Oh, fantastic. Hey, Nikki. Can you hear us? Perfect.
Yes, I can. Hello.
Okay. Can you guys? Oh, it looks like I need to.
I think I clicked allow.
What's that?
I think I clicked allow for you to
Share the screen.
share.
All right. So you guys now see my slide.
It's loaded.
You have a lot of tabs open.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at all those.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. Too much going on. Now, do you see, it says it's paused, but you say you could see it, right?
We saw it for a second. Now it says loading. So I'm not sure if you want to refresh it.
Or maybe don't run it as a presentation, just have your slides open.
I can tell that that was Annalisa's voice, but I didn't hear what she said.
She was saying that I think when you put it in presentation mode, if you did that, right there we could see it.
Okay, well, see, I did presentation.
Yeah, the slide shows when it turns off.
I gotta love it. Okay, well,
We can see it pretty good.
can you read basically?
Yes.
Okay, great, then I'll just move along. Thank you, County Commissioners, Sean Milne, Bear River Association of Governments, acting in the capacity as your Economic Development Director for Rich County. I am here to request authorization formally. Last month, we informally proceeded and received direction. I want to acknowledge that Nikki Weston is the chair of our CEO board, which stands for the County Economic Opportunity Advisory Board. It is a program established by the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity, or GOEO, for some annual funding that passes through counties of the 3rd through 6th class, of which Rich County is one of those, and allows for up to $200,000 towards economic development interests with an annual application process. Using the CEO board, as is expected, to then make recommendations to you, the local legislative branch, I have some slides here to review what those suggestions for fiscal year 26 are. On this first slide here, we have two that you'll likely recall from the last couple of years. and that is contracted services with BRAG for traditional economic development, which is assisting your local businesses with any kind of business consultation, either directing them and helping them do grant writing. FAM tours with site selectors, which, for example, I did last week with a couple from Texas. We admittedly went through Garden City and spent an evening having dinner there while talking about it, and they were enamored by the way, as you would expect, particularly coming up over the top of Logan Canyon and seeing that vista from the parking lot up above. And other economic development services. Ditto for business grant management with the Bear Lake Regional Commission. Mitch Paulson specifically, I don't know if he's in the room.
Oh, he's not today.
No, okay. And so utilizing his greater knowledge and nuance of local needs and business people, our proposal is to continue with that service that he and the Regional Commission have provided, particularly because of the third box that you see there on the right, and that is business expansion grants. Differently than what you've had in the past, we took note that you had suggested very strongly that you would like to see a greater emphasis placed towards year-round and non-seasonal jobs. So we have, or rather has made a recommendation to allocate up to $90,000 for that purpose. I have another slide here to go into the total, but do you have any questions about these three thus far?
I don't think so, Sean.
Okay, great. So then the next one breaks this out a little bit differently than you've had in years past, and you see three different pots of money. The first one is public infrastructure expansion for manufacturing. It has been suggested that there's a company that provides some high-end custom products that largely sells to the Park City Deer Valley. It has expressed some measure of interest there on the southeast corner of the county. Perhaps you're familiar with them because I'm leaning on the experience and presumed conversation that CEO board members have had about this, that would like to set up over there and probably would look to occupy a parcel that doesn't have any infrastructure. So there's up to $35,000 that's been set aside for the thought that that could take place and extend public utilities, meaning these utilities be owned by the municipality or county to be able to make parcels that are currently undeveloped accessible for development, and then depending on what those parcels may offer and the distance in between where the utilities currently are, might actually open up additional parcels in between for light duty manufacturing or light industrial. Right along the lines of that is the RCOG match, which is the Rural Communities Opportunity Grant. This is a separate set of money. You commissioners likely have heard of this before because of the ag report feasibility study that BRAG has been awarded under this, as three of you are also governing board members for BRAG. That requires a 40% match, and it is a competitive grant. And the thought here from the board is that we seek to apply for fiscal year 26 RCOG grant, and then could use this $50,000 set aside to be the county's match, which would enable us to go up to a $125,000 request. This would also theoretically, as it's been proposed, be used for expansion of infrastructure to make ground more marketable and developable, and would be earmarked with the hopes as a non-seasonal kind of year-round employment opportunity. The last one is an acknowledgement that while you're hopeful for non-seasonal year-round, it is challenging for public safety sometimes, not least of which because the conversation that CEO board members have had, I guess, in the community, there's a conversation about public safety challenges. And so while the state doesn't want to see this one-time money annually used towards ongoing labor costs, The thought was something to the side that may be used at your discretion for hardware or training, one-time money for one-time costs, that if you felt like that could help with still acknowledging that tourism is admittedly a significant input to your budget. So you see there's a $10,000 kind of hold there for the total of $200,000. The next slide goes over some CEO board that. Do you have any questions about these 6 different suggestions on expending fiscal year 26 rural county grant monies?
I think it's a good direction that we need to be going. I feel like that we need to, particularly with the public infrastructure expansion and the RCOG match money, I think that's a situation that we're providing opportunities outside of the recreation of seasonal recreation. And I think that's, to really maximize the goals of this money, for economic development, we need to be looking at long-term development, I think, and so I think this is a good direction. As far as the sheriff's support, it's a continual thing to upgrade their equipment, and with the increase in continuing pressure on them to provide, particularly during the summertime, with between training and equipment, I think that's a great opportunity for them to maximize, and maybe they can use that money to match some other dollars as well, to maybe it's firearms, maybe it's new computers, maybe it's new equipment of some kind. So I think that's a good direction to go, to try to address the issues of the increased pressure on law enforcement in the county, particularly during the summertime. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, looks good. I mean, if that's what the CEO board thinks,
It is.
I don't think we need to add any more then.
If you 3 feel comfortable with it, could I be so bold as to request a vote to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? By the same sign. Motion carries.
Excellent, thank you, gentlemen. So the last slide here is acknowledging some of our current board appointments and the term through which they run. You'll see I've got in parentheses Nikki, Tammy, Mark, and Sim and their respective terms, 3 of which end of this year. So I would be seeking in December or January at the latest either approval of reappointment or moving forward with different replacements for those 4. That being said, we've had some non-responsive members keeping tabs on our attendance, and thus would seek your approval of adding 3 others that would help stagger the board appointments so that each of the 3 that are named here on the slide would 6. But I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our Madam Chair, sensitive that you're out of state and maybe at a training, so I don't know if you can easily join us or if you wanted to talk about these 3 appointments.
I can hear you. I am not in a place where it is very quiet, so I think I will let you if that's okay.
Okay, well, Commissioners, let me get to my cheat sheet here on my phone as to what perspective these 3 individuals might represent. Unless you're familiar with the 3, Joel Marlin, Curtis Moldenhauer, and Jared Argyle. A couple of them are recommendations for municipalities. Mayor Mike of Garden City for Jared Argyle and Curtis. And Mayor Saby recommended Joel Marlar. So that's kind of the limit of my familiarity with the 3 recommendations by the CEO board for adding some members. Any questions for Madam Chair or myself?
Welcome. Have they been contacted and are willing to serve by chance, or just their names put forward?
I do not know about the Garden City ones. There was one other name, Zach Hoffman, was presented by Mayor Bell. So we might throw him in there as a possibility. I actually talked to Cam Bell. He owns a business there in Randolph, 2 of them actually, and he would be willing to serve if that was at the pleasure of the board. So there are 2 other options.
Nikki, I'm sorry, but while I'm typing on the fly, do you mind repeating those 2 names for me?
Zach Hoffman, dealings with the station, he was Mayor Bell's recommendation. And Cam Bell owns the Art Bakery there in Randolph.
Okay.
The Hoffman from Woodruff owns a car detailing and wrap business. I do not know if Mayor, if the Woodruff mayor spoke to him or not.
He's on the city council. He's a councilman there in Woodruff. Zach.
Then he probably did, because this came from the city council.
Okay.
I guess we could have more, just to make sure that.
Okay, well, gentlemen, I put those names there for record-keeping purposes. You have to have a minimum of 5 voting members as regulated by the state, and you have that with Nikki, Candy, Mark, and Sim of 4. So you technically only need 1 more, but there's no limit to how many folks you'd like to have on it. My only suggestion professionally would be that more gives us a greater opportunity for having a quorum, but more can also be challenging to make everybody's schedule work, so.
Yeah, I think we ought to go to 7 anyway, just to make sure that we have a quorum. Everybody involved are busy people, particularly those who are, you know, out of the private sector, so to speak. So I personally, 7's manageable, I think, and out of 7, if you get 5 every time, then you're back to your 5 anyway. So that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And then, as far as now we have too many suggestions, I would just maybe throw that back on the board to choose who they think would. I don't know.
Would you like us then, Commissioner, with that last comment, would you like us then to reach out to these individuals and gauge their level of interest and ability to be committed to the role, and then bring back to next month's meeting a formal vote for you?
Yes, I think that would be him. Because there's no use appointing one when they need to understand what their role is, and a couple of those I'm not sure they would or do at this point in time, so it'd be good before they're appointed that they understand, number 1, the level of commitment, and number 2, their role of involvement.
And you can now show them kind of, because we voted on it, you can show them what we're thinking with the money and how they could be involved in that.
That's a great point. Can I count, to kind of go to that point, Commissioner Lee, the element here, the RCOG match, and Madam Chair, where by the end of October I have to submit the Rural Communities Opportunity Grant, or RCOG. I know we already planned for a couple of meeting dates. The commissioners, can I count that as a vote for up to $125,000 request of GOEO for that grant program? And then that's one more thing, Commissioner Lee, to your most recent point, that we can also say it's part of the body of work we may be able to do going forward.
Yeah, I think so, if I understand that correctly.
Okay, thanks. It's just that it's kind of intuitive here, it's implied, but
Yeah.
it would be its own separate application, so.
Okay.
I could,
Yeah, go
review
for
that to see- Okay, perfect. Okay, well then I think we have our direction, we have the formal vote. Before we know our direction for these, Madam Chair, anything further? Okay.
No, thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Nikki.
Okay, thanks, Commissioners.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Thanks.
See you, bye.
Okay, now do we have a motion to adjourn?
Do we wanna adjourn, or do you need to have the executive session as part of the, I mean, you can have a pause.
No, I move we adjourn for lunch.
Okay. Second. I don't know if you need a motion, but
Yeah.
we can adjourn for lunch.
Okay, moved and seconded. We'll have a adjournment for lunch and then
Then we can come back and go into executive
Yeah.
session.